Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtham Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamhyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadādhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadādhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. My sincere gratitude to His Grace Krishna Namananda Prabhu for giving me this opportunity to speak on this Zoom link of ISKCON of Central New Jersey on the lessons that we can learn from Sri Dhruva Charitra, from the life and example of Sri Dhruva Mahārāja. The activities of Sri Dhruva Mahārāja are described in the 4th canto of Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam. It is said in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrit and Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat that our beloved Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as a sannyasi living in Shri Purushottam Kshetra Jagannath Puri Dham, would every day come to Tota Gopinath, the garden where the temple of Gopinath is situated. And the main sevak of Gopinath, the main pujari of Gopinath, was Shri Gadādhara Pandit. Shri Gadādhara Pandit is an incarnation of Srimati Radharani. And Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is an incarnation of Krishna. And together they would sit and relish the nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam. Specifically, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would relish the 4th and the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam in the association of Shri Gadādhara Pandit, Srila Haridas Thakur, Shri Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Maharaj Pratap Rudra, and others. all these devotees would come and relish the nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is the ultimate authority on Bhakti Rasa. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as our Sampradaya Acharya, would relish hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from a Bhagavatottama, a Uttama Mahabhagavat, Sri Gadādhara Pandit. And at night, in his own room, the Gambhira, his little room in the house of Kashi Mishra, at night Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would relish the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, specifically the 5 chapters about the Ras Leela, Ras Panchadhyay. Specifically, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would relish the 5 chapters of the 10th canto, Ras Panchadhyay, along with Sri Swarup Damodar Goswami and Sri Ramananda Rai. So please, let's try to understand this. In the daytime, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the association of general devotees, would relish the 4th and the 7th canto, Dhruv Charitra and Prahlad Charitra. And at night, in the privacy of Gambhira, only with Swarup Damodar Goswami and Ramananda Rai, Lalita and Vishakha Sakhi, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would relish the Ras Panchadhyay from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Dhruv Charitra and Prahlad Charitra are very important for sadhakas like us, devotees like us who are on the path of Krishna consciousness. We have some Shraddha, we have had Sadhu Sangha, we have begun Bhajan Kriya, which is chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, following the 4 regulative principles, hearing and reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita. So we have started that, doing Harinam Sankirtan. And Anartha Nivritti is what we are working on. Anartha Nivritti, getting free from our anarthas. And for this, Dhruv Charitra and Prahlad Charitra are very, very essential and very, very helpful. So, Krishna Ramananda Prabhu asked me to speak on the lessons we can learn from Dhruv Charitra. So, we will discuss the life of Dhruva Mahārāja, and in the end, we will see a couple of verses that are there in Srimad Bhagavatam, which are some very beautiful prayers that Sri Dhruva Mahārāja offered to the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna. There are many different energies of Krishna. Please listen carefully. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said, Radha Purna Shakti, Krishna Purna Shakti Man, Dui Vastu Bheda Nahi Shastrera Praman. Radha Purna Shakti, Krishna Purna Shakti Man. Krishna is the possessor of all the energies, and Radharani is the source of all the energies. She is the controller of all the energies. Parasya Shaktir Vividhaiva Shuriyate. Krishna has many, many energies. Radharani manifests many energies for the pleasure of Krishna. But broadly, there are 3 types of energies. There is the Antaranga Shakti, also called as Chid Shakti, the spiritual energy of Krishna, or Yoga Maya. There is the Bahiranga Shakti, or Achid Shakti, the material energy, controlled by Radharani's manifestation, called Sri Durga Devi. And there is the Tatastha Shakti, which is in between the Bahiranga Shakti and Antaranga Shakti, Tatastha Shakti. This Tatastha Shakti manifests the Jivas. A Jiva is a living entity, is qualitatively like Krishna, because the Jiva is Chid Vastu. Chid Anu Vastu, small spiritual particle. Krishna is Brihad Chid Vastu. Krishna is Om Purnamada Purnamidam. He is the complete whole spiritual Brihad substance. Brihad Chid Vastu is Krishna. The supreme, absolute, transcendental truth is Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. And we are small. Mama Amsha, Jiva Loka, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Jivas are small Amsha of Krishna, small particles of Krishna. These small particles of Krishna, Jiva, which is all of us, are of two types. The Tatastha Shakti or marginal potency is of two types. There are the eternally liberated souls and there are the conditioned souls. Eternally liberated souls are called Nitya Siddhas. They have always been in the spiritual world. They always remain in the spiritual world, serving Krishna. Sometimes on Krishna's order, some Nitya Siddhas may come in the material world as part of Krishna's plan. They are Krishna's partials. They do their service and they go back to the spiritual world. The second types of jivas, which is all of us, are the Baddha jivas. Nitya Siddha, eternally liberated. Second type is Baddha jivas, conditioned souls like us. Conditioned souls like us are by nature spiritual, but we have free will, we have choice, and we have chosen to turn away from Krishna. Krishna bhuliya se jiv anadi bahirmukh. Anadi bahirmukh. From time immemorial, we have turned away from Krishna. Ata eva maya tare deha samsar dukh. And that's why we are suffering in this world. Now, because there are the jivas who have turned away from Krishna, they cannot be in the spiritual world. They cannot be in the Chid Jagat because they have turned away from Krishna. Krishna bhuliya se jiv anadir bahirmukh. We are bahirmukh. We have turned away from Krishna. Therefore, for us, we want to enjoy separately from Krishna. Krishna bahirmukha jiv bhoga vancha kare. Nikatastha maya tare jhapatiya dhare. That's why Maya has grabbed us. Why? Because Krishna bahirmukh jiv bhoga vancha kare. We have a desire to enjoy material life. We have a desire to enjoy away from Krishna. We have a desire to enjoy separate from Krishna. That's why a world has to be created for us. And that is this material world, Bahiranga Shakti. Otherwise, there is no need for Bahiranga Shakti. But because there are Bahirmukh Jiv, there is Bahiranga Shakti manifested as this material world. Krishna creates this material world primarily, and then the details of the world, different species of life, different life forms, mountains, planets, everything, all that is created by Lord Brahma. Brahmaji is the secondary creator. Brahmaji is directly manifested from Lord Brahma is Swayambhuva Manu, who is the father of mankind. Swayambhuva Manu had two sons, Maharaj Priyavrat and Maharaj Uttanapad. Maharaj Priyavrat was the elder son and Uttanapad was the younger. But Maharaj Priyavrat did not want to get into prapanch, did not want to get into material life. So he said, I am going to the forest and I am doing bhajan. I want to devote my life to spiritual perfection. So he went away. Now, Swayambhuva Manu is the king of the whole world and he needs a successor. So his younger son agreed. Maharaj Uttanapad agreed to become the king. So Maharaj Uttanapad became the king of the whole earth. And Maharaj Uttanapad had two wives, Suruchi and Suniti. Suniti was the elder wife and Suruchi was the younger wife. She was more beautiful than Suniti. Suniti also was very beautiful. Srimad Bhagavatam describes she had lotus eyes. She was very beautiful. But Suruchi was even more beautiful and she was younger. And because of her beauty, Maharaj Uttanapad was more attracted to her. And because he was more attracted to her and Suruchi knew it, that king is more attracted to me, she controlled him. Hare Krishna. She controlled him. And that's the nature, human nature. When we know someone likes us, we have control over them. And when there is contamination in the heart, we try to control the person for our selfish interest. So Suruchi controlled Maharaj Uttanapad for her selfish purpose, to maintain domination in the family. So Suruchi had a son, Uttam, and Suniti, who was the elder wife of Maharaj Uttanapad, who was not the favorite wife, she had a son from Maharaj Uttanapad, and his name was Dhruv, who is the subject of our discussion today. So if we see, from birth, Dhruv Maharaj was unfortunate. Correct? Uttam, his stepbrother, was more fortunate because he was a son of Suruchi, who was the favorite queen. And Dhruv was a son of Suniti, who was not at all the favorite queen. So Dhruv had a disadvantage from birth. Uttam had advantage. One day, when Dhruv Maharaj was 5 years old, he went to his father, who was sitting on the throne. Now, father is the biggest king. He is the king of the whole earth planet. He's sitting on the throne. And Dhruv Maharaj also, being a 5-year-old boy, he wanted to sit on his father's lap. And on the other lap, Uttam was already sitting. And next to the king was his favorite queen, Suruchi. And Suniti was not there. So Dhruv tried to sit on his father's lap. It was his adhikar. It was his right because he was also son. So on the other lap, he wanted to sit. On one lap Uttam, on one lap Dhruv. Fair enough. But when Dhruv tried to sit on the lap of Maharaj Uttanapad did not give any importance to Dhruv because Suruchi was sitting and watching. And he knew Suruchi will get upset if he gives love to Suniti's son, Dhruv. So he neglected Dhruv. Taking advantage of this, Suruchi got up and she chastised this 5-year-old boy, Dhruv. She said, "My dear child, you cannot sit on your father's lap because you have taken birth not from my womb, but from the womb of another woman. I am the king's favorite wife, and your mother is not. Therefore, you cannot sit on the king's lap. If you want to sit on the king's lap, there is a solution. And I will tell you what the solution is. You should please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan. You worship Bhagavan, worship Krishna, and please Krishna with your worship. If Krishna is pleased with your worship, then in your next life, he will give you birth from my womb. And in your next life, if you take birth from my womb, then you can sit on the lap of your father, Maharaj Uttanapad, just like my son Uttam is sitting right now. If you become Sa-Udar, you take birth from the same Udar, then you can also sit. But you have taken birth from the womb of another woman, so you cannot sit. So, out. Don't touch your father. Go away. Don't you sit on his lap." The stepmother, Suruchi, in this way chastised little 5-year-old boy Dhruv. And Maharaj Uttanapad did not object at all to the words of Suruchi. He did not show any sympathy, any love, any affection for Dhruv. Now please imagine yourself when you were 5 years old. Mother and father are everything for us. They are our whole world. All we want is love and affection from our parents. Dhruv Maharaj, it is described, did not even understand the difference between the two mothers. He thought he had two mothers. He did not distinguish between them. He loved both of them equally. And now suddenly, Suruchi made this stark discrimination. I am superior. Your mother is Suniti. She is not as good as me. And my son Uttam is Uttam. You are not Uttam. You go. Don't sit on your father's lap. You are not qualified. When Dhruv Maharaj heard this, it was a very emotionally traumatic situation for him. And he looked at his father with hope in his eyes that at least my father will do something. At least my father will speak up. After all, I am his son and he is my father. But even his father did not support him. Now Dhruv Maharaj, being the son of the king, he was a Kshatriya by nature. And Kshatriyas have their nature. They have their Swabhav. There is the Brahman Swabhav, there is the Kshatriya Swabhav, Vaishya Swabhav. Shudra Swabhav. Shudra may not be very knowledgeable and intelligent, but they want to serve those who are superior to them. And that way they attain perfection. Vaishyas, they are very intelligent with money. They may be greedy about money also, but by doing charity, by taking care of the society, taking care of the cows, giving donations to the Brahmanas, paying tax to the Kshatriya, and taking care of the Shudras, engaging them in Satkarma, a Vaishya also attains perfection of life. Brahman is very simple, pure, is not after money. He is devoted to Shastra and spiritual life. And therefore, Pathan, Pathan, Yajan, Yajan is the duty of a Brahman. They study and they teach Shastra. They perform puja and they teach how to do puja to others. That is the duty of a Brahman. Kshatriya, on the other hand, is also devoted to Dharma. But Kshatriya's duty is to make sure that justice is done. There should be justice in the society. Everybody should follow the rules and regulations of the society. And Dhruva Mahārāja, being a Kshatriya, was very offended by the behavior of his stepmother Suruchi and by the behavior of his father, Maharaj Uttanapad. He was very hurt because this is not justice. This is not the way to treat a 5-year-old son. Dhruva Mahārāja thought, I don't want that throne. I was simply sitting on my father's lap. And instead I got such a slap of insult that you are not the favorite child, your mother is not the favorite wife, you cannot sit, go die and take another birth. And sir, worship Krishna. If Krishna is pleased, you will get birth from the womb of Suruchi. Then you can sit. What is this? This is not fair. So Dhruva Mahārāja initially was hurt. But Dhruva Mahārāja's hurt transformed into anger. This is a lesson for us. First lesson is, from his childhood, Dhruva Mahārāja had a disadvantage. The disadvantage was, he was not the favorite. His mother was not the favorite. Someone else was favorite. Suruchi and her son Uttam were the favorite of the king. So there was bigotry. There was favoritism, unfairly, in the family. The lesson we learn is, sometimes from the beginning, from the outset, we may have a disadvantage. We may have a disadvantage. And I will personally tell you, many devotees feel like that. Many devotees feel that, oh, we came to Krishna consciousness very late in life. When we see some younger devotees who are born in devotee families, who have got Krishna consciousness, who have got sadhu sangha from their childhood, we feel that we have wasted our life. Wish we had met Gurudev, wish we had met the sadhus and started the process of Krishna consciousness earlier in life. One disadvantage. Second disadvantage is, after coming to Krishna consciousness, initially we are a little enthusiastic. But then years go by in Krishna consciousness where we are just surviving, not making much progress, sometimes even deteriorating in bhakti. And then we see some devotees who are very sincere, who are very nice, and we feel great enthusiasm. But at the same time, great regret also. Wow, this devotee came after me to Krishna consciousness, but just see how much spiritual advancement he has made, how much service he is doing for Srila Prabhupada and for the devotee community. That type of guilt and a feeling of inferiority comes. That's a disadvantage. Because we feel that I have not been able to make such advancement. I wasted my life. I have not even finished reading the whole Srimad Bhagavatam. And this devotee came after me and he has done so many services. He has studied so much, doing such wonderful services. I am useless. That feeling may come. The lesson Dhruva Mahārāja teaches us, my dear friends, is no matter how great the disadvantage, Dhruva Mahārāja teaches us we can bounce back. It is possible to bounce back from a disadvantageous position. He had a disadvantage, but see what is going to happen in the future. He's going to become the king's favorite. He's going to become the queen's favorite. He's going to become everyone's favorite. He's going to become Uttam's favorite. So it is possible to fight back, bounce back, and recover from a position of disadvantage in life. It is never too late. It may be late, but it is never too late. Maharaj Khatwanga had only one muhurta and he made his life perfect. So it's never too late. We may be late, but being late is a disadvantage and it should inspire us to take prerana from Dhruv, to take inspiration from Dhruva Mahārāja. And now I will not make a mistake. I have made mistakes, but going forward I will not. Now I will not lose the opportunity. That determination we can take today. Dhruv means determination. So, Dhruva Mahārāja, second lesson we learn is somebody may hurt us and initially we feel sad, we feel hurt. If we don't deal with those feelings of hurt, we don't get a clarification, we don't resolve, that feeling of hurt can transform into anger. Like it happened to Dhruva Mahārāja. Now he started hissing like a snake. Maitreya Muni is describing to Vidurji. He started breathing heavily, started hissing like a snake who had been hit with a stick. How a snake gets angry and envious, like that Dhruva Mahārāja became angry. How dare they treat me like this? And out of sheer anger, frustration and pain, Dhruva Mahārāja started crying. 5-year-old boy. He didn't know how to deal with this emotion. He was hurt. He was disappointed. He felt dejected, rejected, at the same time deprived and angry. So many strong emotions were there. He didn't know how to deal. Started crying and wailing loudly. Having no other shelter, he ran to his mother. Mother was in her palace. When the mother, Suniti, saw little Dhruv piteously crying and wailing, she quickly went and embraced him. And his hot tears of anger were falling down from his eyes. Dhruv was just crying. He was crying so much, he could not explain what happened. Mother was asking, Kya hua? Kya hua? Lala, kya hua? What happened? What happened? But he could not speak. He was so upset. But the other maid servants in the palace, they had heard. Some maid servants must have accompanied Dhruv. Akele thodi bhejenge. He had gone with his mother's maid servants. They witnessed, they heard everything. So they came, and when the mother asked, Suniti asked, what happened, beta? The ladies of the palace, the maid servants of Suniti, they told her everything in detail, exactly what had happened. Now you can imagine. First of all, Suniti must be depressed from before because she is not the favorite queen of the king. And on top of that, the only person who loves her, the only person she really loves, her son Dhruv, has been so badly traumatized. You can imagine what Suniti must have gone through. Poor Suniti. She was completely heartbroken. Completely heartbroken. But in her grief, she did not fail to give sound, good advice to her son. Here is a lesson from Dhruv Charitra. If we truly love and care for someone, we will give them the right advice. Now see, Dhruv is hurt, and the natural immediate response or reaction can be, oh, my dear child, this is so bad, so horrible. How dare your father speak like this? Let me complain to your father's guru. Let me complain to this. Let me call Swayambhuva Manu. Sasur ji se complain karti hu, isse complain karti. It only aggravates the problem. When you sympathize with these emotions, it only aggravates the problem. Instead of looking for immediate stopgap treatment, we should try to go to the root and address the root cause. And the root cause of all problems is lack of Krishna consciousness, according to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. He gave a diagnosis for Bhavarog. There is a disease in this material world. There are many diseases. There is HIV, there is cancer, there is diabetes. So many diseases are there. But these diseases affect us for one lifetime, one body. But the Bhavarog is affecting the soul, birth after birth after birth after birth, millions of birth. Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavana Ji. Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Lata Bij. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada diagnosed the main disease called Bhavarog. Now, every disease has some etiology, some cause. HIV is caused by the HIV virus. AIDS is caused by the HIV virus. Diabetes is caused by insulin resistance generally. Sometimes in type 1 diabetes, it is insulin deficiency if the pancreas are damaged. So every disease has some cause. Somebody gets lung cancer from smoking cigarettes. The cause is smoking cigarettes. Problem is lung cancer, but there is a cause. So every disease has some cause. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada said, the disease affecting all of us in this world is Bhavarog. And the cause of Bhavarog is lack of Krishna consciousness. See, Krishna bhuliya sejiv anadi bahirmukh. Ataiva mayatare deha samsar dukh. So our cause of our disease is lack of Krishna consciousness. So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada said, the only thing deficient in this world is Krishna consciousness. And how do you treat a deficiency? If there is vitamin D deficiency, do you give vitamin C? No, you give vitamin D because that is deficient. So the problem is deficiency of Krishna consciousness. What do? We create ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, and we do prachar. And we go out and preach. We distribute books, we preach, we do everything to increase Krishna consciousness in the world. So Suniti went to the root cause. Now just see the character of Suniti. Very instructive. She was completely devastated. Everybody agrees? She was completely devastated by what happened. Her object of love, her son Dhruv, is completely devastated. But even in this situation, she tells her son Dhruv that, my dear Dhruv, it is true that you are unfortunate because I am unfortunate. And why I am unfortunate? Because my own husband doesn't love me. What to do? My own husband doesn't love me. So I am a most unfortunate woman. A woman who the husband doesn't care for, doesn't love, is most unfortunate. So yes, my child, I am an unfortunate woman. And because you have taken birth from my womb and you have grown up drinking my milk, you are unfortunate also. So my dear child, please know that your stepmother is absolutely right. See, she is doing anumodan for what Suruchi said. Instead of criticizing her, she's saying, no, what she said is correct. Now, my dear child, listen. There is another thing that your stepmother told you, which is also correct. And what did she tell you? She said, pray to Lord Narayan. If he is pleased, then you will get what you want. And that is also correct. Because I will tell you, your great-grandfather, who is your great-grandfather? Lord Brahma. Even he was confused at the beginning. He didn't know what to do. He was bewildered. But then he heard the two words, two syllables, tapa, tapa. Do tapasya. And by doing tapasya, by giving up everything and fixing his mind on the Supreme Lord, Lord Krishna appeared to him and gave him all the knowledge, all the blessings, because of which Brahmaji has become the creator and he is one of the three main deities in this universe. Brahmaji became great by doing tapasya and by worshipping the Supreme Lord. And your stepmother told you to worship the Supreme Lord. Her advice is very good. I'll give you another example, my dear child. Your great-grandfather, I told you, Brahmaji. Now think about your grandfather. Your grandfather is Swayambhuva Manu. And he is one of the 12 Mahajans because he is a great devotee of the Supreme Lord, Narayan. So even your grandfather, Shri Swayambhuva Manu, has worshipped the Supreme Lord, and by worshipping and pleasing the Supreme Lord, he has become the king of entire mankind. And he has written Manu Samhita, which is the guiding law book for all human beings. Therefore, following the example of your great-grandfather and your grandfather, following the advice of your stepmother, Suruchi, you must worship the Supreme Lord. And if you worship the Supreme Lord, then all your desires will be fulfilled, my child. And now you are unfortunate, but you will become most fortunate if you worship Krishna. Okay, mother, I will do that. Where can I find Krishna? Where can I find Krishna? Suniti did not know the answer to this. She said, Beta, I don't know where to find Krishna, but I have heard that great sadhus and rishis in the past, they have done tapasya in the forest. The forest is supposed to be mode of goodness, less distractions, less disturbance. See, if you do bhajan in the house, all the time you'll be thinking of your stepmother, your stepbrother, how your father ill-treated you. People will come and give you nice food, nice clothes. There will be distraction. But it is said that the forest is in the mode of goodness. So it is said that the forest is in the mode of goodness. The towns and cities are in the mode of passion, because we go to the office, we work, we earn money, we get attached to our house, our belongings, our family members. So towns and villages are mode of passion. And places like Kattal Khana, all these slaughterhouses, taverns where they sell alcohol, restaurants where they serve meat and alcohol, these are in the mode of ignorance. Understand? Forest, mode of goodness. Cities and towns, mode of passion. And within the cities and towns, all these places where there is prostitution, there is meat eating, intoxication, gambling, casinos, these are in the mode of ignorance. So Suniti told Dhruv, Beta, you should go to the forest, because it is bhajan anukul. It is favorable for doing Krishna bhajan, mode of goodness. So I have heard that sages prefer the forest, and they go to forest and somehow they get Krishna in the forest. Dhruva Mahārāja immediately made up his mind. Okay, I will worship the Supreme Lord Narayan and I will go to the forest. And he immediately left to the forest, following the orders of his mother. Now, Suniti herself did not think that her words will have such a deep effect on Dhruv. When she said that, I don't know, but the sages in the past have found Krishna in the forest, Suniti never imagined that Dhruva Maharaj at that age of 5 years would actually go to the forest. What lesson do we learn from here? Sometimes we may not realize, but our words can have a deep impact on others, positive and negative. Sometimes devotees, they say that in this one particular class, I heard that we should chant so many rounds. Prabhuji, from that day, by Krishna's mercy, I have never chanted less than that number. And the person who spoke that sentence thinks, oh wow, I was just repeating the words of the Acharya. I myself don't chant so much. But this devotee has caught that point and implemented it. And sometimes, I'll give a personal example. We may say certain things which we have read or heard to substantiate a point that we are trying to make in a Hari Katha. So I was giving a class once, and there was some point, I don't remember what point it was, but I had to make some point, and I gave an example without taking name. I just gave an example. I didn't realize also, but the devotee who had gone through that situation was a devotee in the audience. And he thought that I am pointing him out and I am publicly criticizing him. And he felt so hurt. After that, he just withdrew from me. And even till today also, he doesn't come. So, but of course, he's connected to another group and he's happy. Spiritually, he's making good progress, and I'm happy about that. But he got distance from me because I hurt him unknowingly. So we have to be careful. Sometimes even unknowingly, our words may have a positive effect on others or a heartbreaking effect on others. So therefore, we have to be very careful. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Anudvega karam vakyam, satyam priya hitam chayat, swadhyaya abhyasanam chaiva, vangmayam tapa uchyate. What is the austerity of speech? How our speech should be? Anudvega karam vakyam. Speech that will create udveg in others, speech that will agitate others, we should not do that. We should speak the truth, satyam. We should speak the truth in a pleasing way. Satyam bhruya, priyam bhruya. Anudvega karam vakyam, satyam priya. Priya means in a pleasing way. Truth can be spoken, but it should be spoken in a palatable way, so that it has a desired effect on the person. Like someone may say, once I was chanting with a group of devotees, And that time I had a habit of chanting very loudly. In Krishna consciousness, it's a process of evolution. We all evolve. We make mistakes and we learn. So I was chanting very loudly. And we were 4 or 5 boys chanting. So after some time, they all got up and left. After 1 or 2 rounds, they got up and left. And I didn't understand why they left. I thought maybe they want to walk and chant. They went another place and they were walking and chanting for the rest of the 16 rounds. But later on, one devotee came and he told me, you think you have become Haridas Thakur? You're chanting so loudly. You think you're chanting Shuddhanam? You think you're purifying all of us? We should give up our chanting and just listen to your chanting. Arey, we are also chanting, Baba. It is japa session for us also. If you chant so loudly, then how we can chant? We had to get up and leave because of you. So I felt really bad because that was not my intention. Somehow I was chanting and I was happy that devotees are together and we'll all chant. I didn't realize that I'm causing disturbance to them. So this is one way of doing it. And before that, actually, I had made the same mistake. And one devotee had very tactfully told me. He said, there are 3 types of japa. There is vachik japa, there is upamshu, and there is manasik. When you are alone, you can chant vachik. And generally, in the temple, this Prabhupada established 2 hours of morning japa session every day in the temple. Generally, the expectation is that we do upamshu there so that others don't get disturbed. But I took it as a, theoretical, okay, he's telling me there are 3 types of japas. But I didn't get the message that I have to apply it also. I have to chant upamshu when I'm in a group. So, but anyway, so when this was spoken the second time, then I felt bad. I felt guilty also that I had disturbed their japa that morning. So satya can be spoken, truth can be spoken, but generally it's better to speak it in a tactful way. So in a sweet way, pleasing way, not in a way that it will cause anudveg. It will cause udveg. So anudvega karam vakyam satyam priya hitam, and it should be spoken those things should be spoken which will cause benefit to the others, not something that has no value to others. So we should speak things that will benefit the person in front of us, like that. So many things are there. So anyway, so Suniti, she really had a deep effect. Her words had a deep effect on Dhruva Mahārāja. And Dhruva Mahārāja went to the forest. Now, as he was going, Dhruva is not an ordinary boy. He is the grandson of Swayambhuva Manu. So when Dhruva Mahārāja leaves the palace and goes to the forest at the age of 5, it is headlines in the transcendental circle. So it is said that Lord Narayan called Shripad Narad Muni and said, just see the nature of Kshatriyas. Little boy, 5-year-old, small boy, but big ego. He has been insulted, and look at his determination. He has taken off for the forest and he wants to get a kingdom better than his father's. So Narad Muni, go and please do the needful. Prabhupada also would say many times, go do the needful. Do the needful means, okay, time, place, circumstances, do what it takes to serve Krishna nicely in this situation. So Shripad Narad Muni comes and asks Dhruv, who is walking into the forest, Hare Krishna, Dhruv. Dhruv immediately offers obeisances because he knows, he has heard of Shripad Narad Muni. Everybody knew Narad Muni. Like nowadays, the kids know the movie stars and the cricket stars. In the good old days, people knew personalities like Narad Muni, Brahmaji. So he offered obeisances. Shripad Narad Muni Dandavat Pranam. Says, okay, my child, all blessings to you. What happened? Where are you going? Oh, I'm going to the forest. I want to do tapasya to find Lord Narayan. Shripad Narad Muni said, oh, that's not possible. Listen, you are only 5-year-old child. This type of fights, they keep happening in Grahastha Ashram. Grahastha Ashram means there will be fights. So many false egos are living under one roof. So there are going to be fights. These things happen. You are a child. You are attached to playing and having fun. Go back. Don't take that fight so seriously that you had with your stepmother and your stepbrother. Just go back and forget it and go play. Play games. When you become little old, then you come. then I will instruct you about this. And anyway, this path that you want to follow, going to the forest, doing tapasya to please Lord Narayan and to get darshan of Lord Narayan, this is a very difficult path. Very high failure rate. More difficult than getting into IIT or any other prestigious college. Narad Muni says, very difficult. Many people have tried in the past to please Krishna and they have failed. So why you want to waste your time? You're a young boy. Go and play. Don't take these fights very seriously. Ja. Dhruva Mahārāja said to Shripad Narad Muni, Munivar, please forgive me for not accepting your advice. But I cannot accept your advice. Because I am a Kshatriya by nature. My heart has been pierced by the words of my stepmother, by the cold-hearted behavior of my father. My heart has been pierced. And therefore, because there are holes in my heart, your nectar-like instructions don't stay. They just fall off. They don't stay in my heart. So please tell me some process by which I can get darshan of Lord Narayan and have my desire fulfilled, where I want a kingdom better than, bigger than, more opulent than my father's. Hare Krishna. Shripad Narad Muni was only testing him. When Shripad Narad Muni told him that, don't worry, forget the fight, go back home. So the lesson we learn from here, this is, sometimes in life, there will be people who will distract us or who will discourage us in our determination to do Krishna bhajan. And we should understand that they are testing. Krishna is testing us. And test means Maya. Test means Maya. Who tests us? Maya tests us. So we should know, anybody who tries to take us away from our Krishna bhajan is an agent of Maya. Is testing us. Krishna is testing us and we have to pass the test. And how do we pass the test? By saying no to temptations. Hanumanji also, when he was going to Lanka to find Shri Sita Devi, that Mainak Parvat came. Oh, Hanumanji, the way ahead is very difficult. In Lanka, you'll have to fight a lot. Better you take some rest. Huh? Justified. Ek break to banta hai. So Hanumanji could have taken a break, eaten some fruits and drunk some water, taken a power nap. But all powerful Hanumanji, Vidyavana Guni Ati Chatur, he said no. He just touched Mainak Parvat, said, by touching you, I accepted your service, but let me go. How can I take rest when Shri Sita Devi is suffering in Ashok Vatika and Prabhu Ram is crying on Rishyamukh mountain? No. Taking rest is the last thing I want to do. Let me do my service first. So like that, we will be tested, we will be tempted. Sometimes even devotees may tempt us. That chalta hai, do this. Purushottam Vrat karne koi zarurat nahi yaar. Prabhupada never said anything about Purushottam Vrat. Chhod do. Don't do. Anukulyasa sankalpa, pratikulyasa varjana. What is favorable for the service of Srila Prabhupada, what is favorable for our Krishna bhakti, we should do. We should not listen to people who try to distract us away from our determination to serve Krishna. And Dhruva Mahārāja passed the test. All he said to Shripad Narad Muni is, I respect you, but I cannot accept this advice. Tell me some way where I can find Lord Narayan. Narad Muni said, good, you passed the test. Now I will tell you. Now listen. Shripad Narad Muni told him, listen Dhruv, you go ahead and you will enter the beautiful Vraj Mandal, the holy land of Vrindavan. There you go to the holy river Yamuna. And on the banks of Yamuna, there is a beautiful secluded forest called Madhuvan. You go there. And there you worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudev, by chanting this mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This is the mantra that should go on continuously in your mind. You stay on the banks of Yamuna. With the wet mud from the bank of Yamuna, you make deities of the Supreme Lord, Narayan. And you worship the Lord with Yamuna Jal. There will be Tulsi plants growing there. It's Vrindavan, it's the forest of Vrindadevi. You offer Tulsi leaves and manjaris at the lotus feet of Lord Narayan. And there will be fruits and flowers and leaves in the forest. You pluck fruits, flowers, and leaves, and you offer them to Lord Narayan. In this way, you perform worship of Lord Narayan. And to control your restless 5-year-old childish mind, I will teach you Ashtanga Yoga. I will teach you Pranayam. I will teach you breath control. And in that way, you will be able to meditate completely on Lord Narayan. In this way, Shripad Narad Muni, he instructed Dhruva Mahārāja. Dhruva Mahārāja very gratefully accepted the instructions of Shripad Narad Muni, circumambulated Shripad Narad Muni, offered him obeisances, and went to Madhuvan. What lesson do we learn from here? 2 lessons at least. One is that bhajan, when performed in a holy place, has a greater effect. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Vyavasayatmika buddhir ekeha kurunandan. That in this path of Krishna consciousness, we have to be ekeha kurunandana. Oh Arjun, we have to be one-pointed. How one-pointed? Vyavasayatmika buddhi. Like a businessman, Vyavasaya. जो business करते हैं, how a businessman has completely focused. Businessman will think, अरे वो light बंद करो. It's waste of light. I remember in our hospital where we work, the CEO is so particular about cutting healthcare expenditure. Especially when the COVID pandemic came, it was a big hit for the hospitals because all the elective surgeries, which are most lucrative, they stopped completely during COVID pandemic. Only emergency cases were being conducted. So the hospitals were getting financially hit very bad. So what our hospital did was, the tissues that come out. So you wash your hands, because as healthcare professionals, we have to wash our hands very frequently in the hospital. Ideally, after every patient encounter, if not, at least we have to use the hand sanitizer, and then every 2-3 patient encounters, we have to wash hands with soap and water, because soap and water is superior to alcohol-based hand sanitizers. So we have to wash our hands, and then we dry them with a tissue, paper tissue. So they have motion sensors. You just put your hand and the paper tissue comes. You rip it and dry your hands, throw it in the dustbin. So how much tissue comes out with each motion, that can be programmed. So previously, big sheet of paper used to come. But then our hospital management, to save costs, they adjusted it, only this much comes. And then it stops. And then we got used to it, that we can manage. But you see how much paper it saves. So many people are there. There are doctors, there are nurses, medical assistants, physical therapists, speech therapists, occupational therapists, social workers. Everybody's washing hands there. And in a day, so many sheets of papers is saved. This is called Vyavasayatmika buddhi, business mind, where you want to maximize profits, minimize wastage. It is good. So in business, tell me something, the most important thing is what? Location. Correct? Business location is important. So for example, if you see most of the Indian restaurants, they will be, at least in US I'm saying, they will be right next to Patel Brothers. They will be right next to the Indian grocery store. So people go to do grocery shopping, and abhi ghar jaake, who is going to cook? Chalo, let's eat in the restaurant. I'm not talking about devotees. Devotees never do that, but those are not devotees of Krishna. So they will eat in the restaurant. So those restaurants make a lot of money because they are right next to Patel. And vice versa. People go to eat in Patel Brothers and they will remember, Arey, aata khatam ho gaya hai. Rice khatam ho gaya hai. Okay, you place the order, I'll go and buy from the grocery store quickly. See how so location is very important. Now you open a Indian restaurant in a place where there are all Americans living, not Indian population. Then will the restaurant do good? Not so likely to do well. So the point I'm trying to make is, in business, location is very important. Location is very important. If there is one big hospital in one place and you want to open another big hospital, then you open it far away from this hospital, where there is population also and there is no other competing hospital. So location in a business is very important. Similarly, my dear friends, Krishna is saying Vyavasayatmika buddhi. We should have business-like mind in bhakti, maximum chanting. Why should I waste time? We should have that attitude. Why should I waste time? Like the hospital is not wasting paper, we should not waste time. And maximum we should do bhajan. So we should also have Vyavasayatmika buddhi, and part of Vyavasayatmika buddhi is location, location, location. Doing bhajan in the holy dham gives many times more result, spiritual benefit. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada, he built big temples in Mayapur, in Vrindavan Dham, and encouraged devotees that you please come and stay in the Dham. Take advantage of being in the holy Dham. And Srila Prabhupada established temples, ISKCON temples all over the world, which are non-different from the holy Dham. And Srila Prabhupada encouraged devotees to come and stay there and do their bhajan in the temples, because that location has great importance. You are doing bhajan in front of Radha Krishna, in front of Gaur Nitai, in front of Jagannath, in the association of devotees. You are sitting in the presence of Tulsi Maharani and chanting your japa every morning. Isn't that powerful? The location is important. So Shripad Narad Muni told Dhruva Maharaj to go to Vrindavan, go to Madhuvan and do bhajan. Another example from Srimad Bhagavatam is Ambarish Maharaj. He also went to Vrindavan on the banks of Yamuna and did his Ekadashi Dwadashi Vrat. So location is important. So Dhruva Maharaj went there and he followed exactly how Shripad Narad Muni had taught him, his Gurudev had taught him. This is the second lesson that we learn, that we should follow the instructions of Gurudev. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chittete Koriya Kya Arana Kariho Mane Asha. We should not have any other distraction in our mind, no other agenda other than what Guru Maharaj has told us. That lesson we learn. Dhruva Maharaj followed the bhajan pranali given by his Gurudev. First, when he went there, he fasted. The day he entered Vrindavan Dham, he fasted. He stayed on the banks of Yamuna. Then for next 1 month, he subsisted only on fruits. Only on fruits. And that also every 3 days. Just to survive, keep his body and soul together. The second month, he ate only dry leaves and grass. Not even fruits, just dry leaves and grass. But that also every 6 days. Third month, Dhruva Maharaj, he stopped eating leaves and grass also. He subsisted only on water, only Yamuna Jal. That also once every 9 days. Hare Krishna. Then in the 4th month, he even stopped drinking water and only survived on air. And air also he would breathe in once every 12 days. And in the 5th month, he even stopped breathing. Gave up breathing. No breathing. He was just standing, and now he was standing only on one leg. And he had completely focused himself on Lord Narayan. Focused on Lord Narayan. In his heart, he had constant darshan of Lord Narayan. Fixed his mind on Lord Narayan. Nothing else mattered. He was not moving. He was not breathing. He was standing on one leg. Completely absorbed in meditation on Lord Narayan. And then because of this, in the 6th month, such a tej manifested from Dhruva Maharaj that the entire universe could feel the heat. The earth was pushed down. Half the earth was pushed down by the pressure of his great toe, and nobody could breathe. Because he stopped breathing, nobody could breathe. Because he had captured Krishna in his heart. And Krishna is the pran. Mat prananathas to sayavanapara. Krishna is the pran, and he held Krishna in his heart, and he stopped breathing, so nobody else could breathe. The devatas, the devis, nobody could breathe. Demigods could not breathe. They went to Lord Narayan. And they prayed to him, Lord Narayan, that this boy, Dhruv, is doing such tivra tapasya, such severe austerities, that everybody has lost their power to breathe because he is not breathing. Please do something. Trahimam, trahimam. So Lord Narayan said, yes, it is because of the severe austerities of my devotee, my servant, Dhruv. Don't worry. I will go and I will satisfy him. So Lord Narayan got on the back of Garudji, Hari Bol, and came there to Madhuvan. And immediately, as soon as Lord Narayan appeared in front of Dhruv, the inner meditation of Dhruv Maharaj broke. He was able to see Lord Narayan inside, and suddenly Lord Narayan disappeared. Dhruv was bewildered. What did I do wrong? What happened? I was in such ecstasy, such bhajanananda of meditating on the form of Lord Narayan. Where did he go? Where did he go? He opened his eyes, and that same Lord Narayan that he had captured in his heart in his meditation, same Lord Narayan was standing in front of him, Sakshat. Immediately, he offered Dandavat Pranam to Lord Narayan. With his eyes, he was drinking the beauty of Lord Narayan. With his lips, he was kissing the lotus feet of Lord Narayan. And with his little 5-year-old arms, he was embracing Lord Narayan, who had appeared in very beautiful Chaturbhuj Murti, decorated with Shankha, Chakra, Padma, Gada, standing next to Garudji, self-effulgent, beautiful Kamala Nayan, Lord Narayan. And Dhruva Maharaj thought, what was I doing? What was I doing? I was praying for a kingdom. But after seeing Lord Narayan, I have no desire left. It is time. I want to read at least one verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, because the class is useless if we don't read the words of Srimad Bhagavatam. My words are useless. So let me read at least, I know time is up, but one verse let me read from Srimad Bhagavatam. That will make it successful. 1 second. So let me share my screen. I would like to show the verse also. Very beautiful verse. So this is from the 4th canto, chapter 9, text number 8. There are many verses that Dhruva Maharaj offered. So Dhruva Maharaj could not pray. He was only 5-year-old boy. He was not educated. He had not gone to Gurukul yet. He had not studied Chanda Shastra. He had not studied Sanskrit Vyakaran. 5-year-old boy, what could he do? He could not offer any prayers. He wanted to offer but could not. So Lord Narayan became very compassionate and touched Dhruva Maharaj on the head with his Panchajanya Shankha, with the conch shell, touched him. And by the touch of Lord Narayan, Dhruva Maharaj got complete knowledge of everything. He became completely self-realized and was able to offer beautiful prayers. What do we learn from this? The lesson we learn from this is, we may have deficiencies, we may have our incompetencies, inabilities, but if we have sincere intention to serve, and we do bhajan with that intention, that I want to serve Radha and Krishna, I want to serve Srila Prabhupada, I want to serve the Guru Parampara, I want to serve and please the Vaishnavas. If the intention is sincere and we chant Hare Krishna, then Krishna will give the ability. Krishna will give the ability. Krishna gave ability to Dhruva Maharaj to offer prayers. He wanted to offer prayers, but didn't have the training, did not have the knowledge, did not have the capability to do it. But desire was there. So Krishna fulfilled that desire. So this is a very important lesson. Let's read this one verse. Our Dhruva Maharaj is praying. These are the words spoken by Dhruva Maharaj. Twaddattaya Vayunaye damachashta vishvam supta prabuddha ivanatha bhavat prapannaha tasyapavargya sharanam tava padamulam vismaryate kritavida katham artha bandho. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. O my master, Lord Brahma is fully surrendered unto you. Dhruva Maharaj is thinking of his great-grandfather. My great-grandfather, Lord Brahma, is fully surrendered unto you. In the beginning, you gave him knowledge. Tene Brahma Hridaya Ādi Kavaye. Adi Kavi Brahmaji got Brahma Jnana from Krishna. And thus he could see and understand the entire universe, just as a person awakens from sleep and visualizes his immediate duties. So we may have to chant at Brahma Murta, and we may be sleeping, and suddenly the alarm goes off. We wake up and immediately we remember, hey, chalo, we have to go join the japa session. So like that. As soon as we wake up, we realize what our duty is. You are the only shelter of all persons who desire liberation. He is a supreme shelter for those who want apavarga, liberation. And you are the friend of all who are distressed. Artha bandho. Arti is one who is suffering. Artha bandho means the friend, true friend of those who are suffering. And we are all suffering in this world, because this is dukkhalaya. How therefore can a learned person who has perfect knowledge ever forget you? How can one forget you? You are unforgettable, Krishna. You are amazing. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, cannot be forgotten even for a moment by his surrendered devotees. Cannot forget. Cannot forget. Tesham sadata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam. Cannot. Ananyas chintayanto mam. One cannot, pure devotee, surrendered devotee, Sharanagat Bhakta cannot forget Krishna for a moment. The devotee understands that the Lord's causeless mercy is beyond his estimation. This is the point. We can never love Krishna as much as Krishna loves us. It is not possible. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu. Krishna is Karuna Sindhu. The devotee understands that Krishna's causeless mercy is beyond his estimation. He cannot know how much he is benefited by the grace of the Lord. We cannot write down the things that Krishna has done for us. The list is unlimited. For since time immemorial, although we have turned away from Krishna, Krishna has been maintaining us. Krishna has been providing for us. How much devotee association Krishna has given us. Krishna connected us to our Guru Maharaj. How much Krishna has done for us. How can we ever repay? The more a devotee engages himself in the devotional service of Lord Krishna, the more encouragement is supplied by the energy of Krishna. Srimati Radharani is called Urjeshwari. This Urja Shakti to do bhajan, Krishna bhajan, is given by Krishna when he sees our sincerity. This is such an important sentence Srila Prabhupada has written in the purport. The more a devotee engages himself in the devotional service of the Lord, the more encouragement supplied by the energy of the Lord. Energy of the Lord is Srimati Radharani, Urjeshwari. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says that to those who are constantly engaged in devotional service with love and affection, the Supreme Personality of Godhead gives intelligence from within, and thus they may make further progress. What verse is this? Raise your hand.
Tesham Satyayukta.
Harivo. Tesham Satyayuktanam Bhajatam Priti Purvakam Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam Yena Mamupayanti Te. So Krishna is there to help us. All we need to do is be sincere. Srila Prabhupada once said, the only thing lacking is sincerity. If only we are sincere in our chanting of japa, at least 16 good quality rounds. Every round should be good quality. Otherwise, we should redo the round. How inspiring. Yesterday, I was with His Holiness Jai Advaita Swami Maharaj. And I was driving Maharaj and I asked Maharaj that, Maharaj, can you share something about His Holiness Kadambakanand Swami Maharaj? Because Maharaj's life was successful and Maharaj's departure was glorious. So can you share, as his spiritual master, can you please share some formula for success that His Holiness Kadambakanand Swami Maharaj applied in his life? And what His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj told me was very inspiring and at the same time very heart-touching. I don't have time to share everything. Maybe in some other class I can share more nectar that Srila Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj shared with me that day. But one thing that comes to mind by reading this is His Holiness Kadambakanand Swami Maharaj was very particular about his chanting, japa. You can say in a very transcendental, positive way, he was a japa fanatic. Sometimes the japa would go at a regular pace, and sometimes it would go very slow. Srila Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj told me that it was the policy of Srila Kadambakanand Swami Maharaj that he would not go to the next bead until he had chanted that particular Mahamantra properly. He was a perfectionist. And he was a perfectionist about his japa. Every mantra has to be attentive, otherwise we don't go to the next bead. Every mala has to be attentive, otherwise we don't go to the next mala. 16 such rounds minimum. That is called sincerity. Sincerity in following the 4 regulative principles. Not cheating, but sincerely following the 4 regulative principles, because we have given our word to Guru Maharaj. In front of the worshipable deities, in front of the holy fire, in front of the assembled Vaishnavas, we have given our word. And we are following the 4 regulative principles for our purification because we want Radha Krishna Seva Pao Yehi Abhilashi. We want to serve Radha and Krishna ultimately. We want to participate in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Nam Sang. Yes, we want to be there in Srivas Sangan, chanting and dancing in ecstasy with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Advaita Prabhu, Sri Gadadhar Pandit, Srivas Thakur, Buddhimanta Khan, Kolavacha Sridhar, Shuklambar Brahmachari, all the devotees, Shivananda Sen, Pundarik Vidyanidhi. We want to be with them. We want to see Raghunandan Thakur, Narhari Chakravarti, Narhari Sarkar, Mukunda Datta, Vasudev Datta, Mukunda Sarkar. We want association of these great devotees. We want to see how Meenaketan Ramdas jumps on the backs of devotees and hits them with his flute in the Gopa Bhav. Yes, we want this. We want the Uchishta of Mahaprabhu that Shachi Mata and Sri Vishnupriya Devi have cooked with their own loving hands. And we can get it if we are sincere. That is the mood. We want to be sincere. We want to be with Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada said, we will have our ISKCON there in Golok Vrinda. Yes. Every Manjari has her youth. And every leaders of the Manjaris, Yutheshwari. Every Yutheshwari has a youth. So we want to be with Srila Prabhupada. We want to be with Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. Yes, we want to serve with Srila Chakravarti Pad. Who doesn't want to serve with Champak Manjari, Srila Narottam Das Thakur Maharaj? So sweet. Don't you want to see Rupa Goswami, Rupa Manjari, Lavanga Manjari? So wonderful. What about Rati Manjari, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami? We want, this is what we want. This is our family. This is our aspiration. And Prabhupada said, all you have to do is just be sincere. Golokera Premadhan Harinam Sankirtan, it has come, descended to take us. Kalikale Nama Rupe Krishna Avatar Nama Haite Haya Sarva Jagata Nistar. Yes, Nam has descended and Nam will ascend us to the spiritual world. Hare Krishna. So Krishna is there to help us. Krishna is there to help us make further progress. Being so encouraged, the devotee can never forget at any moment the personality of Godhead Krishna. This is a Siddhanta, spiritual truth, that we do bhajan, Krishna reciprocates. We experience the reciprocation of Krishna. We feel encouraged, obliged, grateful. We do more bhajan. There is more reciprocation. We feel more gratitude for Krishna, more love for Krishna. We get more attached to Krishna, seeing Krishna's reciprocation. We do more bhajan. Krishna reciprocates even more. We feel even more love for Krishna. We do even more bhajan. Krishna reciprocates even. This is transcendental competition going on and on and on. This is the meaning of Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamrita Aswadanam. Yes. Haribol. This is spiritual life. He always feels obliged to Krishna for having achieved increased power in devotional service by his grace. Krishna, पहले 2 माला करने को बहुत कठिन था. It was difficult to sit and chant even 2 rounds. I would see, when will this round get over? When will this round get over? 15 minutes, 15 minutes was difficult. Krishna, by your kripa, I can sit in one asana, in one posture for 2 hours. Krishna, in Brahma Muhurta, this is your ahaituki kripa. This is your causeless mercy, causeless mercy, causeless mercy, causeless mercy. A devotee feels like that. Devotee always feels obliged for having achieved increased power in devotional service by Krishna's grace. This is the mercy of Urjeshwari Radhika. Saintly persons like Sanaka Kumar, Sanatan Kumar, and Lord Brahma were able to see the entire universe by the mercy of the Lord through knowledge of the Lord. Jnana Chakshu. The example is given that a person may apparently abstain from sleep all day, but as long as he is not spiritually enlightened, he is actually sleeping. What is the value of their working day and night? In forgetfulness of Krishna. It is all pavarga, because tha means pain. They are foaming, frothing at their mouth, working very hard, but it is shrama eva hi kevalam, because not padayati ratim. They are not developing rati for Krishna. He may sleep at night and perform his duties in the daytime, but as long as it does not come to the platform of working in spiritual enlightenment, he is considered to be always sleeping. Yat karoshi yadashnashi yajjuhosi dadasi yat tapasyasi konte tat kurusha madarpanam. Unless we do Krishna karma, it is shrama eva hi kevalam. It is useless. Useless. Uma kahu mai anubhav apna sat hari bhajan jagat sab sapna. He's always sleeping. Yes. The busiest workaholic, working 16-18 hours a day, sleeping because he is asleep to spiritual truth. A devotee, therefore, never forgets the benefit derived from the Lord. Devotee means gratitude. Kritadnya. What Krishna has krit for us. Dnya. To remember that, to have knowledge of that. That is Kritadnya. Lord Krishna is addressed here as Artabandhu. Artabandhu, which means friend of the distressed. As stated in Sri Bhagavad Gita, after many births of executing severe austerities in search of knowledge, one comes to the point of real knowledge and becomes wise when one surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of God. Which verse is that? Raise your hand quickly. Yes, Sri Dhruva Mahārāja.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Is it 7.19? Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudevah sarvam iti sa mahatma sudurlabha.
Yes, Mataji. Very wonderful. Thank you. The Mayavadi philosopher who does not surrender unto the Supreme Person is understood to be lacking in real knowledge. Lacking in real knowledge. Because they have not come to the point of surrender to Krishna. Jnanavam mam prapadyate. We have to surrender to Krishna. The devotee in perfect knowledge cannot forget his obligation to the Lord at any moment. Therefore, a devotee prays, Ashlishava padaratam pinashtumam adarshanan marmahatam karotuva yatha tathava vidhatu lampato mat prananathastu sa eva napara. Krishna, you can do whatever you want with me, but you are the Lord of my life. You are the master of my life. I belong to you and you belong to me. Ame se tomar, tomar to amar. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur prays. So that is the sum and substance of our life. The Dhruv Charitra goes on with his life story continues. Many interesting learning lessons are there, but we have gone way beyond our time. So I will stop here. Sri Dhruva Mahārāja ki jai. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Ādi Gadādhara Prabhu. Wonderful explaining the lessons. I'm grateful to you. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyo patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo. Vaishnava ki jai. Ādi Gadādhara Prabhu ki jai.
Ananta Koti Vaishnava.
Vaishnava ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. We have 1 or 2 questions we can take. If anyone has raised your hand, then we'll do quick announcements.
Hare Krishna. Looks like no questions, Prabhuji.
Questions? Okay.
Krishna Prabhu, I just have one question.
Yeah, go ahead. Nidhi Mata, go ahead.
Very wonderful class, lot of realization. Like when you were mentioning, right, it's the Maya that, like when things are taking, like when people talk that, oh, you're doing all this, you're so young, you have 3, like I have 3 kids, and our whole family is getting into Krishna consciousness from a couple of years. So when, like, but our extended family, like my immediate sisters or my sister-in-law, whenever I visit them, they try to, like, not follow what we are following, and they like oppose whatever we are following. So when we are around family who are not Krishna consciousness, like we are not arguing with them or we are not saying anything to them, but how do we handle, like, so that without offending them, peacefully to keep around the family? That is something it's always challenging to me.
Hare Krishna. Sripad Narad Muni tells us in Srimad Bhagavatam how we should deal with such family members and relatives. Sripad Narad Muni says we should tell them, yes. What you said is correct. What you said is correct. We should say yes, but then we should do what Guru Sadhu Shastra says. what Krishna wants, we should do that. We should not get into arguments. Yes, yes, very nice. Yeah, oh yeah. Thank you for advice. Yes. But we should do what Guru Sadhu Shastra says. So that's Shripad Narad Muni in Srimad Bhagavatam.
You know, chapter Prabhuji, so I can read.
I will send the verse to Krishna Namanand Prabhu. Are you in touch with Krishna Namanand Prabhu?
Yes.
So I will send the verse to Krishna Namananda Prabhu. I also don't remember the verse right now, but it's a very beautiful verse Shripad Narad Muni says. So I will share, and Krishna Namananda Prabhu can share with everyone.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So don't get into arguments. Just say yes, but do what Guru Sadhu Shastra says. Hare Krishna. Like Hanumanji. Hanumanji did not argue with Mainak Parvat. You don't understand? I am on a mission. How can you try to distract me and slow me down? No. Hanumanji just said, okay, thank you for your offer. Hare Krishna. And he went like that. We should not argue, but we should do our bhajan. Because if you argue, there will be fights and there will be more opposition for you. Life will become more difficult. So say yes. And then you do what Guru Sadhu Shastra says. Don't listen to them. Okay. Amritananda Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, please accept humble obeisance. All glories to Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhu. Just love your classes. It's a two-part question. Second part, if there is time, you and Krishna Namanand Prabhu decide. But the first one is, we get these instructions from lectures, reading Bhagavatam and Shastras. So for Dhruva Mahārāja, it is determination. And to that level where he even stopped breathing, single point focus. Now, sometimes we sadhakas may think, wo to Dhruva Mahārāja hai, especially empowered. I'm just so fallible. So how do we try to at least adopt that kind of, just even a tiny bit of determination, which would help us sadhana?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. This is Keshav Madhav Das here. Sorry for interrupting you. I just wanted to add along with Amritanand Prabhu's question that you have mentioned wonderful nectarian stories and pastimes and leelas from different sources so as to understand how and why should we be inspired to chant properly. I was wondering if in case you also have some practical tips, like do this Keshav Madhav Das, it will help you. We hear a lot, but many times in the entire rage of our material existence, we miss out on stuff, Prabhuji. We get distracted. So it might be my, nature to fall down like that. But if in case you have some serious practical tips, it would really help me. Sorry, Prabhu. Sorry for interrupting you. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Determination. Another name for determination is mental strength. Correct? Determination is mental strength.
Mm.
And strength, bal, Shakti comes from two things. One, from Krishna Nam. Nam Kari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti. Sarva Shakti. There is full strength in Krishna's name. So if we constantly chant Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We keep reminding ourselves while eating, while bathing, while dressing up, while shaving, while brushing, internally at least. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vyavasayatmika buddhi, one-pointedness means suddenly if a tree falls on the house and I die while I'm shaving in the bathroom, I should not have forgotten Krishna. If a meteor comes and hits my head, a lightning bolt comes and hits my head, and I die at this moment, I should not be in forgetfulness of Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrit, in the Antya Lila 20th chapter, there is a very beautiful verse. Khaite shuite yatha tatha naam le deshkal niyam nahi sarva siddhi hai. Sarva Siddhi. We'll get all perfection if we follow this one rule, constantly chanting. Khaite, shuite. While you're lying down, when you're eating, whatever you're doing, yatha tatha, whatever you're doing, driving, walking in the parking lot, in between work, take a break, close your eyes, just chant a couple of Hare Krishna Mahamantras. Naam le. We have to keep chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Iti Shodashakam Nam Nam. These 16 names we have to chant. We get strength because Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti. Shakti is there in the name of Krishna. We'll get that determination. The strength of determination will come through Nam Bhajan. We have to do it. Because see, one cannot say that, oh, but I'm Grahastha, I'm busy in so many things. No. I'll tell you why. Because we have a lot of determination in material things. Is it without determination that we got our bachelor's and master's degree? Is it without determination that we were able to come to America from India? Is it without determination that we are trying to live the American dream? Where we have, 2 cars and children and house, and we are doing all those things. It requires tremendous determination. To get a simple bachelor's degree, so many years of schooling. 2 years of kindergarten, 12 years of school and high school, and then 4 years of college. How many is that? That's 18 years of hardcore education. Such determination we have. So in material things, we demonstrate a lot of determination. Is it without determination and planning that we can enjoy a vacation? No, we'll go, we'll figure out the dates, we'll get the cheapest deal on the flight tickets, get the best Airbnb, we'll carefully scrutinizing, look at the reviews, and we'll plan the whole trip. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. It requires so much determination, so much planning. And we do that in material things. Why we cannot have Vayasatmika Buddhi in bhajan? Why we cannot have that one-pointed business-like attitude with our bhajan? Business not in the negative sense, because nowadays business word has a very negative connotation to it. But I mean it in a pure way. That why we can't have that determination that Dhruva Mahārāja had? Because we have determination in our material pursuits. Why we cannot dovetail that same determination in our spiritual pursuits? That's the point. And therefore, we should give ourselves no excuse that I will do Nirantar Nam Bhajan. I will chant constantly. In the morning, 2 hours, yes, minimum 16 rounds I will do that. I have promised Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada. But throughout the day, I will not forget the holy name. The best way to remember Krishna is to chant his holy name. Niyamita Smarane Nakala. There are no rules. You can remember the holy name anytime, anywhere. Okay? That is the first point. That we get strength of determination from Nam Bhajan. Second strength of determination will come from taking exclusive shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. And being convinced in our heart that I have no other shelter. Krishna, I cannot do it on my own. I cannot make spiritual progress on my own. I'm completely dependent on you, Krishna. If you help me, then it is possible. Like in the purport we were reading, Srila Prabhupada explaining, the more bhajan we do, the more reciprocation comes. And when the reciprocation comes, we have to identify that reciprocation. Oh, this is Krishna's mercy. I'll tell you one example from my life. I was a surgeon in India. I was assistant professor in surgery in India. Then I came to America. 1 year I did surgery in New York. And then my life was very hectic. I was frustrated. I was initiated and I could not chant my 16 rounds. So out of frustration, one day I went to my program director and told him I quit. I cannot continue with surgery because I'm working literally 90 to 100 hours every week. I get 1 day off every week. 6 days I work. I leave home at 4 o'clock and I don't come home before 8, 9 o'clock. And I'm dead tired when I come home. I get no time with my son. I get no time with my wife. I cannot chant my round. I told my program director, I have taken a vow to chant for 2 hours every day and I'm not able to do it and I feel miserable about it. I quit. So I quit after 1 year. And then I switched to family medicine, which was not very hectic. And I had enough time for my 16 rounds. But I always had this thing in my heart that I am a surgeon. I have invested so many years of my life in learning surgery. Is that all gone waste now? And I always felt this sorrow in my heart that because of Krishna consciousness, I let go of my surgical life. But when I finished my residency and I got my job, because I'm on a visa, I took up a job in a underserved area where there is physician shortage and the people also are low socioeconomic status people. They are underserved population. So I got that, and they cannot afford to go to a dermatologist. They cannot afford to go to a surgeon. And for many small surgeries, they need someone who will do it for free. So my employer told me, you can do surgeries on them for free. And so many surgeries that I had learned, I'm able to do in the clinic under local anesthesia. And I feel very satisfied because the patients are extremely grateful that I'm the same thing where they would have a $60 copay. And these are all people who are retired on fixed income. They get Social Security, $1,100, $1,200, and they have to manage in that much only. They have no extra penny. So they cannot afford to go to a derm or general surgery. So I get to do, I feel satisfied. So I was thinking, this is Krishna's reciprocation, because Krishna knew somewhere in the corner of my heart, I had this thing that I want to do surgery. And I gave up my surgery for Krishna. Krishna arranged in such a miraculous way that in a big city like Atlanta, there is an underserved area close to my house where people have this need of someone to do who is surgically trained and can do it for free. And patients have full faith. They come, they appreciate, they bring fruits and gifts for me in reciprocation. I feel satisfied that my surgical skills are not going waste. It may be something material, but Krishna is taking care of this material need also. Because if I harbor that thing in my heart that for Krishna I had to give up my surgery, all my years in surgical training went waste, then that is not healthy for my Krishna consciousness. And Krishna knows that. So Krishna is so merciful. Bichara, he has got material desires, but I will fulfill. Chalkar surgery. After doing surgery for 8 years, I realized, okay, I'm satisfied now. Now I don't want to spend so much time. And they had other alternatives. So I give this example I'm giving, Prabhuji, to say that Krishna is so much reciprocating with us. And when we experience such reciprocation from Krishna, our sincerity, we have to identify it. And then our determination increases. That I have no other shelter other than Krishna. Krishna knows my heart, and Krishna takes care of all my needs. So these two things are important, Prabhuji. Shelter of the holy name and shelter of Krishna, understanding that we have no other shelter. Ananya Ashray. Sarva dharman parityaja mam ekam sharanam. This we have to understand. If we think we have some other shelter, my employer, my money, my family members, my this, my that, they will protect me, then we cannot get Krishna. Really, we cannot get Krishna. This is the verdict of the Shastra and the sadhus. But we have to understand, I have no one, like Draupadi. I have no one. My husbands cannot protect me. Bhishma Dev is sitting, he cannot protect. He is a Mahajan, he cannot protect. Vidur is a Mahajan, he is Yamaraj, he cannot protect. Imagine, Bhishma Dev is there, Yamaraj is there, and they cannot protect. And Arjun is there, Bhim is there, Dharmanandan, Yudhishthir is there, Nakul Sahadev are there, they cannot protect. Kripacharya cannot protect. Vidur cannot protect. Dronacharya cannot protect. No one can protect. I have only Krishna. Gajendra, his wives left him, his children left him, his praja left him, his friends left him. Nobody could help Gajendra. Ananyanath. Then he understood, my only shelter is Krishna. That we have to understand. That my only shelter is Krishna. He is my true friend. In Mahaprabhu says, in Jiva Jago, Jiva Jago prayer, that Ama Bina Bandhu Kya Tomar. You don't have any other friend other than me. I am your only Bandhu, Mahaprabhu says. So you have to understand, Krishna is his Artha Bandhu, like we are reading in today's verse. Artha Bandhu. We are suffering in this world, we are Arti, and he is our Bandhu, he is our friend. So two things, Namashray and Krishna Padashray, shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. If we have this and we do with determination, then we will be able to perform the bhajan that we decide. Otherwise, we are very weak need. We make determination, I will do this, we do for 2-3 days, and then we fall. We are not able to continue because that determination is not there. But we are showing determination in material life. This we have to analyze. Our mind is tricking us. It says, oh, not possible, not possible, not possible. No, it is possible. Because in material things, I have proved possible. I have achieved so much materially. Now I'm going to use it in my spiritual life. And I'm going to do what I want to do spiritually for the pleasure of Krishna. Is that okay, Prabhuji?
Very nice, Prabhuji. Very, very nice. I'm so grateful to you for this. You have actually acted as Tridhavanani right now. That's because 3 different questions have been answered collectively by you. I'm very, very grateful to you too.
Hare Krishna. I'm grateful to you for making me think about Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. I think we'll have to continue with our rest of the program with 9:30.
Yes,
So,
yes, we can stop over here.
Yeah. I'll exchange the questions if Amritan Prabhu has another question. But yeah. Thank you very much, Ādi Gadādhara Prabhu, for
Thank
your
you.
valuable
Jai
time.
Shri Krishna. Hare
Allah,
Krishna.
Sri Prabhupada.
Thank you.
So,
Hare Krishna.
quick announcements. Purushottam month is going on till August 15th. And today's Sunday Feast program, please join in the evening from 5:30 to 9 p.m. And this Friday is, upcoming Friday is Ekadasi, very important Ekadasi. And then, till Monday, I think Monday is the Purnima. So important days in Purushottam months. Every day is important day to increase our chanting and reading and hearing and engaging in service of Guru and Krishna and Prabhupada. So, yeah. And Govindas is on, govindasnj.com. Please, you can place your orders. Yeah, Purnima is on Tuesday. Sorry, August 1st is Purnima. So those are the quick announcements. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhakti ki jai. We'll conclude today's session.